As far as guys that will not participate, Rob Havenstein, just a veteran rest day. Quentin Lake still with his hamstring, and then Laryl Murchison, be smart with his knee. Everybody else should be good.
When you look at their defense, Sean, what jumps out at you, why they're so good?
All three levels. Coach Schwartz does an excellent job. He's always, been a guy that I have a lot of respect for from going against him, whether it was when I was back in Washington or, even in our early parts of when we first got here. It seemed like we played Philly almost every single year when he was a D coordinator, and does a great job. But they've got great players on all three levels of the defense. They do an excellent job of really attacking you, and then there's enough mixers and putting guys in the right spots. But you're seeing why the numbers are what they are because they're as good as advertised.
Coach, what do you see from DTR as far as what makes it difficult to go up against, especially that it just not starting?
Yeah, I think the overall athleticism, Nick, the ability to be able to create, you could see he's gotten better with a little bit more experience. I thought he did a really nice job in some of the things that he had done in the preseason. And then just, seeing his body of work when you're flipping on the games on Saturdays, with what a great career he had at UCLA. So a lot of those things that you see these good ones do, they have the ability to extend plays. I thought he did a good job of being able to play in rhythm, and both he and PJ. And then you never know what their approach is with Joe. So we got to be ready for all of them.
Switching gears and looking at your defense, how far have some of the younger guys on the team come along so far this season?
They've come a long way. They're conscientious. I think it's a real credit to them and the consistency at which they've approached every single day. Just getting better, being accountable, being coachable. They're really a fun group to be able to work with. I think the coaches deserve a tremendous amount of respect to be able to work in collaboration and coordination with those guys and being able to positively push them. And so I think our defense has really done a nice job, especially coming off of the bye against, two good teams. They're, two challenging outfits in regards to, some of the offenses we played in Seattle and Arizona. And thought they did a really nice job against Green Bay even before then, and we just didn't, give ourselves a chance overall as a team.
Sean, I know you guys try and keep it even keeled week in, week out, no matter what the result is on Sunday. But now that you guys have played yourselves into a position where you are completely in the running to get a wild card spot, has there been some extra juice in the room?
I think really the guys understood, that, hey, if you take care of your business, then you keep, playing games that have importance and you stay relevant in regards to those things you're talking about. And so I think the consistent approach has been, if you take care of your business, then that conversation continues on. And so there's still a lot of football left to be played. There's still a lot of things that we have to do to continue to take steps in the right direction. But all we can do is have a good day today. We know it's going to be a great challenge against a team that has done an excellent job, and they've found a way to be able to win a lot of games, and they put a lot of pressure on you in a variety of ways, not exclusive to defense. They do a great job offensively. They do a great job in the kicking game. And so that's where our focus is. But I think the guys have earned the right to be able to build some positive momentum. And it's a what have you done for me lately type of league, and that's what we got to continue to do by being present.
What stood out to you about Cody Turner when you first evaluated him pre-draft?
I think just the relentless effort that he plays with, snap in and snap out, the versatility across the front, knowledge of the game, production in both the run and rushing the passer. And then when you get to meet him, this is a special person that has a lot of different things going for him in a positive way. Very cerebral, very smart, very worldly. You see the conductor when he's doing the sacks. So he's the guys love that, and he is refreshingly so secure in who he is, and his teammates love him. You can't help but root for a guy like this, and he's played really good football for us, and I think he's only getting better.
When you say so secure in what he is, how do you see that?
I just think the way that he carries himself, and the way that he takes coaching, the way that he is, so comfortable and just being able to have, normal conversations, share some of the different things that he's interested in outside of it. The way that he handles, some of the good banter that goes back and forth in the locker room. He's one of those guys that you can't get him because he's unfazed and he's super secure in himself. Well, I don't know. I know Joe just from, meeting him and saying hello a couple times when I was really in Washington, before we would play them every single preseason or some games. But, I'm a fan of the game, so I've respected him from afar for a long time. think just an even keel demeanor, disposition. Obviously, he's got the ability to be able to make all the throws. I've heard a lot about him because Mike was able to work with him when he was in New York, and he says nothing but great things, and that's kind of been par for the course what people have talked about with him.
Sean, we're seeing,
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
we see more and more from Royce Freeman. What are you seeing in him and just his growth over the past, handful of games?
I think a guy that's taken advantage of his opportunities, Maria. When Kyron went down and then when also Ronnie went down, he immediately is thrust into basically a starting role. He was already doing some really good things for Chase and Spring on special teams, but this is a guy that's played a lot of football in this league. He's very mature. He's a grown man, if you will, and he plays like a grown man. And I think there's a physical nature to his game. He's really smart. He picks things up quickly. I think, really coachable. A lot of the same things that I'm talking about with guys have enabled them to have a certain amount of success. But I think you can really say grown man, physical player, pro's pro. And I thought he played really well, over the last month. And then I thought the other day might have, potentially been one of his best days. And I thought him and Kyron being able to complement one another was key and critical for our run game. And then obviously the big fellas did a great job with that as well.
Given Kyron's success in the last game, what's his biggest challenge going into now? An opponent that's going to be well aware of him, and the challenge for you as the play caller in terms of keeping him viable.
Yeah, I think just the consistency, you don't have to press at all. Play one snap at a time, whatever your role is within the framework of the call. Each week is a new week. He did an excellent job last week. We've got to prepare to expect to play well again, but there's different challenges and there's different things that we'll carry relative to what we want to try to do to try to be able to attack an excellent Cleveland Browns defense that presents some different things structurally, personnel-wise, and so whether that's as a runner, whether that's as a protector, whether that's in the pass game, just doing a good job playing with the fundamentals, the techniques, and trusting himself to execute at the level that he's capable of.
For you as a play caller, how comforting has it been through your tenure here to have Tyler and Rob Havenstein, kind of stalwarts of the offense?
Yeah, no, they've done a great job. I think there certainly is a comfort level. There's a trust that's been established over a long period of time, Gary. And then there's a production that they bring. But I think the leadership, the way that they understand kind of what the standards are, because they've been key and critical to setting those standards. And I think seeing is more powerful than anything that you can hear, especially when you see what your teammates are doing in terms of their preparation, the way that they are in the meeting rooms, the way that they are in practice, and then ultimately how that translates to some of the things that they're doing in games. And there's a reason why they were voted captains. But I have so much appreciation for those guys. Love those guys. There's been a lot of great memories, and there's been a lot of good things that we've had to work through that I think you can even grow closer in those moments. And we've had all of those experiences, and that makes special relationships.
Kind of a big question, but a year ago at this time, you and the building, the organization, the roster, the players, there was a lot that happened.
Yeah.
Everyone was trying to figure out how to stand on their feet, let alone get their head above water. This time, this year, it feels very different. What has happened between then and now, or how do you look back on the last several months, not just you, but the organization?
I think the players and the coaches have done a great job of just being able to stay one day at a time, not forget, the joy and the journey. I think there's a lot to be said too. You can't establish grit unless you go through real challenging experiences. And, I can't speak for other people, but I do know that, I was spoiled with a lot of the good things, and it forces you to continue to grow and mature as a leader, as the man that you want to be for the people that you love and care about. And a lot of those things are the consistency, how you respond to certain things instead of, whether it be spoiled or taken for granted, a lot of the good things that have come our way. And then you just think, oh, well, if it's not that, then, it's not worth it. And that is just so wrong. And I did not like a lot of the things that occurred last year, but man, it was so necessary. And I'm grateful for those scars, and I'm grateful for the learning opportunities that came from it. I think it makes you better equipped to be able to handle things the way that you want to instead of looking back with regret. But I can only speak for myself on that, but I've just been really proud of, wanting to go to work and make sure that you're not letting the person down next to you. You know, are you doing your job within the framework of your role to the best of your ability with the energy, the vibe, the work ethic, you know, the authentic enthusiasm that you're bringing? And I think because we got the right guys in that locker room to be able to handle it the right way and the right coaches, it makes it makes it easy to be able to say, man, even when you don't get that result you want or you have some of those setbacks, let's just keep pushing, let's keep growing, and let's become more resilient together.
I guess I wonder, because last year this was the precipice of a rebuild,
Mhm.
or half partial, whatever you guys are calling it.
Yeah.
This year, this is the precipice of possibly a playoff push. How big is it?
I don't necessarily, I don't look at it like that as much as let's just handle ourselves the way that we want to and maintain the integrity of the culture and continue to operate at a standard that is as good as we possibly can do. And so, there's a lot of things in terms of the dialogue and some of the different things, whether it's losing great players or some of the decisions that we've had to make. But I love working with this team. I'm excited about trying to attack an opportunity to go get our 6th win. And then, if we do, outstanding, and you got to keep it moving. And if we don't, then let's see how we continue to respond. But I do know that, the week of preparation has been really important. And I think, it's one thing to be able to say, let's enjoy the journey. It's another thing for that to be able to come to life. And I think these guys have done it, and they've certainly made it easier for me to do that too. And it's not perfect, I'll tell you that. So, but I think it's about the growth.
Is there a specific area, maybe day to day, where you notice that growth?
Yeah, not wanting to lose it right now. All right. No, I think what I would say more than anything, Sarah, is it's the awareness. Because I think, we're all wired the way that we are. And I think when you're aware of, all right, your intentions might come from what you think is the right place, but your execution and the actions that you take moving forward are not helpful for what you're really trying to get done. And I think it's the connection, the collaboration with the people, the overall awareness of, all right, is this, how you want to handle this, or is this not? Those are the things that I think are helpful, and you don't know that unless you go through it. And then just being able to, continuously have, just great self-talk, great ability to be able to, lean on the people around you, because I think that's what it's about, is making sure that, football is the greatest team sport that there is, but, let's be a positive influence in terms of how we're affecting situations we're a part of, and more importantly, the people that we're around, regardless of a lot of the stuff that, we can't control, which is very much a theme of what we do.
Are you seeing the consistency with all the football that you've seen, particularly with this team in this season? Are you seeing the consistency now where you feel like this team is turning the corner, kind of?
I think it's hard to say. I think the last game was a step in the right direction, and then I think I've really liked the way that we've played defensively the last couple games. I think there's been a consistency. I think there's been an ability to respond from some setbacks, and then for the most part played pretty close to complete games. I thought the way that the offense closed out the game against Seattle was in alignment with what we want. And that's sometimes you got to be able to find different ways to be able to finish games. And I was really encouraged because that was kind of a new theme that we hadn't really seen us be able to overcome. And then I thought last week was great complementary football, the ability to play off of one another, pick each other up if we needed it, and then being able to go finish a game for, what was close to 4 quarters. But I thought we really took control at the end of the second quarter. I love the way that we ended up getting the stop where Trey Tomlinson ends up drawing the hold where, could have given them some points at the end of the half. Then you get some stops, and then, guys are able to capitalize on that, whether it be short fields or some of the things that defenses were able to do. So I think it's case by case, but I did like the way that we played. I like the way that we've continued to improve the way that we're attacking every single day, where you're stacking good days on top of one another. And I think that gives you the best overall opportunity to improve and then ultimately have it come to life when you play these games. All right. Thanks, guys.